Good evening, folks, and a very, very warm welcome to you wherever you may be. It's an absolute scorcher in Melbourne today, and tonight's episode of DinamoTV is going to be equally scorching hot. Good evening, my name is Taunchi Pulsats. I'm your host for tonight, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here with you every week, bringing you all the latest news and views from St Albans Dinamo Football Club, DinamoTV. Folks, tonight we've got a massive show. We've got lots and lots of guest speakers tonight. We've got the highlights of the Round 1 NPL Victoria clash. And what a start to the season it was against sister club Dandenong City Hajduk. We had a Hajduk versus Dinamo derby on Sunday, and we'll see all the highlights of that game. We'll also be speaking to two-goal hero Joey MONEK, who did absolutely brilliantly well on Sunday, scoring 2 goals, 2 out of the 3 Dinamo goals. We'll be hearing from him. We'll also hear from the dynamic duo, Tuna and BURKE, the under-23s head coach Adam TENNENINI and the under-19s coach Ian Burke as well. We've also got the under-14s Boys NPL, junior NPL coach DEVON BONNE. They had a very tough game last week and against Western United. In fact, all of the junior boys had a very tough game day at the office against Western United. But some very, very interesting perspectives, I guess, from the under-14s coach, and we'll be hearing from Devon. And last but certainly not least, another dynamic duo, this time as far as the social events at Churchill Reserve are concerned. We'll be hearing from 2 of the organisers of this year's upcoming 50th anniversary Gala celebrations. STELA SPOLJAR and SUZI ILIC will be joining us a little bit later on in the show. So lots happening, folks. Stay with us. Straight after this very, very short ad break, we've got the news desk.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
You are watching the DinamoTV, and it's time now for the news desk. And on the weekend, we had the very, very first game, the season opener of the NPL Victoria competition. Dinamo travelled to Hajduk's Frank Holohan Reserve, and here are some of the highlights that happened on Sunday. An action-packed game, lots of goals, lots of action. And here's the first goal in the 3rd minute from Joey MONEK.
Platt with ball in hand. And a 12-yard stare off. This would be the perfect start to the second half for St Albans. The wind's still blowing. A deep breath for Mikel Platt, who is standing right on top of the football. readies himself, steadies himself, and scores for Dinamo. And just as they did in the opening 45, the boys from Fox Streets score early on in the second half. They're back in front. And can you hear
Dandy City find themselves on the back foot and chasing the game. Nick Tolios would no doubt love a response as brisk as the previous. Took just 3 minutes or so last time. And looking to repeat the trick this time. The shot comes in and Will Bowers done it again. Well, it's deja vu all over again at the start of the second half. As Dandy City go right up the other end, get it to their number 23, Will Bauer, who powers it in past Jackson Riley to make the score 2 goals apiece. And Brett Sturdberg.
In goes Chelina, wins the football. Dragicevic brought down again, and then it's turned home. And Dinamo are in front again. And again, it's Joey Monek, who had scored 2 goals in 71 appearances. And now he's at the double. If you're sitting back at home watching this one on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel, you would be crazy to turn it off. Will Bauer wins the penalty for Dandenong City, and Kenny Athieu will be the man to step up to the plate and look to draw Dandenong City level for a 3rd time. Kenny Athieu scored 8 goals last season, 3 from the spot. It's King Kenny. It's 3-3 at Frank Holohan. Right. Summerskill lofts it in. Not quite cleared by City. Exidius. A rock. Got to get it in there. Gergic. The second time of asking, perhaps. Here's Chelina. Through a sea of legs and then turned clear by Aparinos, and it's our first draw of the season, and it's a pretty fitting result, you have to say. A match.
Yes, and a pretty fitting result, 3-3 to the 2 Croatian-backed clubs. Great entertaining match without a shadow of a doubt. It really was an incredible game. Certainly for I guess if you're a neutral, that's for sure. Now all the attention turns to this weekend and this Saturday night at Paisley Park in Altona Magic, who probably would have been a little bit unlucky that they didn't get the 3 points against Melbourne Victory on Monday night at the home of the Matildas. They ended up coming away with a 1-1 draw, so both Magic and Dinamo will be looking for their first win of the season. The main game kicks off at 6:15 p.m. At Paisley Park. The under-23s will kick off at 4 o'clock, and the under-19s will be playing at 1:45 earlier that day. So it is going to be a triple header of football. So certainly something to really, really look forward to. The under-23s, well, as far as against Dandenong City, the under-23s, they drew 3-3. And Anton Primorac scored 2. Alex Cepiviroski scored an absolute stunner, an absolute perler. Tuna, Adam Tennenini, their coach, did supply us the VO footage, but unfortunately we just didn't have time to be able to edit that goal. But hopefully we will have that goal on our social media channels next few days. Ripper goal. The under-19s, unfortunately, they came away with a 2-5 loss to Dandenong City. Kyle Atkinson and Jonathan Galvan was were the scorers for Dinamo. Now, throughout history, there have been some absolutely fantastic duos, some couples, duos, however you want to call it, who have really gone down in history. Suppose you had Laurel and Hardy, you had Abbott and Costello, you had Bonnie and Clyde. I guess even you had Moyle and Hassel, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. The list goes on and on and on. Well, here at Dinamo, we've got our very, very own, I guess, Tuna and BURKE. And the two head coaches of the under-23s and the under-19s, respectively, well, they assumed the role of reporter and interviewee, and then they swapped over roles. Here's an insight into what happened last Sunday.
So here I am with 23's coach Adam TENNENINI. Tuna, how are we feeling after a 3-3 draw?
Oh, mixed bag of emotions, BURKE. It's only been 10 minutes since the game finished. I was just still trying to process it in my head, but yeah, we had a poor first half. We were down 2-0 at half time, and got the boys in. And under these conditions, it's quite blustery out there, so I thought we could be a little bit more direct, which we did in the second half, and eventually found ourselves 3-2 up, which was extraordinary, but deserved, because we had a chance in the first half and we couldn't put away, and they continued in the second half. We started putting them away. But disappointing then to then concede in the last 5 minutes to what was individual error for us. But look, we played against a team that finished third last season. They retained a lot of their squad. Also added in a couple of some quality boys into that squad as well. So look, away from home first up, our team rarely played together as a unit. So I guess in the end, I should be happy with it.
Yep. And some good additions there, drop down from the seniors that helped you out?
Yeah, definitely. Jocko Maruna and Jerome Jaron had great games. Yeah, sometimes with their senior boys when they drop down, they're either looking not to get injured or not getting 100%, but they put in 150% today and really shine. Nick DeBono, Nicholas Murray and Alex Ep5 also contributed greatly. Murray scored a ripper goal there for the third one. So you're very happy with those five boys' progress, which will obviously provide that feedback to Cam, but also the rest of the boys. The rest of the boys all dug deep, and there's promising signs for the rest of the season.
All right, we're going to process all of that, and then on to next week at Altona Magic.
Thanks, BURKE. Yeah, on to Magic next Saturday night, which should be great. Here with under-19s coach Ian BURKE. Tough away assignment pre-game, and proved tougher by the end of the 90 minutes.
Yeah, definitely did. Look, I don't think we played terribly, especially in the first half, to come in at 3-2 down. But it's a recurring theme for these boys that we're... actually, I won't say what it is because other teams might be watching, but the boys know the mistakes that we're making, and there's a little bit of individual error in there as well. But yeah, work in progress, I guess. So to lose 5-2, I don't think the score really reflected the game, but certainly in the second half we dropped off and we let them play. Yeah, so it's what it is. Move on to next week.
Some promising signs though out of that result were some of the youngsters pushing through to the under-17s.
Oh, definitely.
What's their progress been like?
So Nicholas Lagozo was best on ground up until half time, and we had to take him off and he had to get back to Dinamo and help out the 17s. He was playing a great game, so disappointing that we had to take him off, but I sort of partly understand how that works. But for such a young talent, like he's just flying. Every time he's come to the pre-season, he's been unbelievable. So yeah, really looking forward to him. Becky Yagai came in, played centre back, didn't do too much wrong. Gave us half an hour at the end. So, and we know from the pre-season, there's plenty of boys from the 17s that can come and step up at any stage. So maybe some of these boys in the 19s need to be looking behind them, because the boys come from behind are the ones that are really keen for it at the moment.
It'll be good to push up some of them permanently as well at some stage into the season, whether it's JP now or during JPNL pre-qualification. But yeah, so I guess the positive out of the result, would you agree that we have some boys underneath that can certainly shake up the squad a little bit?
Yeah, we do. And look, even so, when the fifth goal went in, there was about 15 minutes to go, and you could see the heads drop. And I said to them, so we're not throwing the towel in. And to the boys' credit, like they just kept going. So it wasn't pretty, it wasn't great. Conditions were hard to play in out there, and maybe we didn't adapt quite as well. We were a little bit naive in certain situations of the game, but you can't fault the fact that the boys just gave everything until that final. So certainly positive, and we'll move on to next week against Magic.
Yeah, Magic for both of us next week. Yeah, so hopefully we can both get the first win.
That's the plan.
Adam Tennenini and Ian Burke. Hopefully that can become a regular feature of DinamoTV each week. Okay, other news happening around the traps. Well, first of all, the car and bike show that was scheduled for this Sunday has been cancelled due to all the construction works currently happening at Churchill Reserve. For those that have been to Churchill Reserve recently, yep, you'll see all of the construction that's going on around the main pitch. Earlier today, Football Australia unveiled the Australian Championship. That is what the national second tier is going to be known as. And I guess that's what the is going to be known as. Yeah. Could Dinamo be playing? Well, technically, the winner of the NPL Victoria competition this year will qualify for that. And it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a very tough league, in fact, this year. That's for sure. All right, we're going to take a very, very short break. Look, after we return, we'll be looking at the JB NPL round 2 games that were played over the weekend. And we'll also hear from the under-14s coach, DEVON BONNE. Rightio, so if we have a look at the results played last weekend, there on the left of your screen, the under-14s lost 0-7. The under-15s lost 1-14. Aldo Siketa scoring for the under-15s. An 0-8 loss to the 16s and a 1-4 loss in the 17s with young Reiher scoring the goal, the only goal there. Tough day at the office without a shadow of a doubt. But it's games against quality opposition. That's where our boys are able to really learn. And it's up to the coaches, and it's up to a very good coach to be able to instill some really valuable lessons and extract some very valuable lessons. And the under-14s coach had some very interesting things to say post-match. I caught up with him straight after the match. DinamoTV, we're featuring the under-14 boys NPL team, the new kids on the block, and we're speaking with their coach, DEVON BONNE. DEVON, firstly, welcome to DinamoTV. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Thank you for having me.
Now let's talk about the start of the JB NPL season. We've had last week a good win against Altona Magic, and this week a bit of a grounding back to reality. Tough game against Western United. But how have you seen, in your eyes, the start of the 2025 NPL season for the 14s?
Yeah, look, it's all about progression and taking good steps forward. What we're working on at training is really trying to bring in a different intensity, a different environment, a higher level of learning for the players. And it's about seeing that progressively get better every week. Today was obviously a different challenge. I mean, this is benchmark. And like I just said to players, these are the best games because you learn the most from these sort of games. You see where you're at as a player, you see where you're at as a group, and as coaches, we can see what we need to work on with the boys moving forward. There was some encouraging signs at times. We can see some things that we've been working on, even against a difficult team like Western. But it's a big difference between what we've seen last week and today. And the boys just need to understand that, and understand that it's about getting better every week.
Yeah, parents, coaches, I guess, even players themselves can sometimes get carried away with the results side of things, and we see that, and particularly with a lot of other teams that you come across each week. Yeah. It's a blight on our game, but under Jason Trefiro, this year there's been a real emphasis on the development side of things, and just listening to your post-match address to the players, it's a real kind of a learning curve, and that's exactly what it should be for the 14s. Firstly, you should be applauded on that, but secondly, how have the boys kind of reacted to that? It's all part of the learning game element of it.
I think it's tough. I mean, when you lose 7-0, it's easy to just feel defeated. It doesn't matter what level you're playing at. For them, it's to understand that they are on a journey, and the idea is that like I said, as individuals and as a group, it's about small steps getting to get better, to lead towards a better outcome. And with that better outcome, results naturally come. So it's important that we get them to a point where they start understanding the game at a much higher level. And the style in which we want to play the game, they adopt it as fast as they can. And we honestly believe that's the best way to get to consistent results, right? And you can get caught up on the scoreline, but honestly, at this stage, it's important that they're winners, and it's important that they want to win. It's important that they're not happy when they lose, but it's understanding there's a way to lose, and there's a way not to lose, and there's a way to win.
Yep.
So they're on a journey, and I think they've adopted that and they understand that. This particular group with the 14s, their attitudes are good. I mean, they're willing to learn. They're willing to try and make it work, and that's the most important thing. So I have every expectation that we'll get better as the games go on.
As a coach, speaking to, say, parents of kids in the 14s, or generally speaking, and to the players themselves, how important is it to encourage the players to be courageous, to be bold, but above all, to be ready to make mistakes?
Yeah, well, it's something I said to them now as well. You always need to be positive as a footballer, and you need to be brave. At the end of the day, it's gonna that's the best way you're gonna manufacture the best results on a pitch and have the better outcomes. But also, them understanding that you can make errors, and as long as you're trying to do the right thing and implement the right ideas, we can see past that error. And it's about getting to a point where those errors become less and less and less and less, to the point where they're just starting to do things better at a high level more consistently. So we want our players to be positive, believe in themselves. Even against teams like today, we still want them, as you can see, we still kept trying to play out the whole game.
Yep. That
didn't stop. We didn't start saying go long, let's go direct. We stuck to what we believe in, because we want them to get better at it. And when you're playing against well-organised teams, it's the hardest challenge. So we want to encourage them to believe in themselves, always be positive, the right mindset, the right mentality. Understand that, like for today, if you don't compete, all that doesn't matter. So they also need to understand that they need to be willing to compete every week. Nothing changes. And if you don't compete, they had some small little boys and they were strong on the ball, but it's a willingness to compete that they have.
Now, it's a difficult year because it's a transitory year, going from under 13s to under 14s and 9v9 box-to-box to a full ground concept. Tactically, how do you go about teaching the kids to make it a habit of thinking in the 11v11 style instead of the 9v9 and keeping us so cramped?
Yeah, look, it is a challenge because distances are a lot different and the ground you're covering is a lot different. But it's more about understanding where you need to be at what points and what scenarios in a football match that matter. So, yeah, the space is small, but the situations and scenarios are exactly the same. It gets a bit difficult, when you go into a 11v11 pitch, because the distances are different. But if they have that, they start learning that game understanding of space, how to utilize it, how to minimize it. Then it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Eventually, you need to get onto 11v11 more often, which I think Jason does do during the week. But yeah, it's about them understanding the scenarios in different situations.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
And we hope to get you on DinamoTV again later on in the year. And all the best for season 2025. Devon Bonne, the under-14 boys junior NPL coach. And I guess now all the attention turns to this weekend, Sunday the 16th of February, round 3 of the Western Zone qualifiers. Dinamo's boys will be travelling down the Princess Highway to Geelong, where they will take on Geelong Soccer Club at Stead Park. The under-14s kick off at 9:30. The under-15s follow them at 11:10. Under-16s then will be playing at 1 p.m. and the under-17s will conclude the day's football at 3 p.m. All those games will be played on the main pitch, pitch number 1. All right, when we return, we'll be catching up with Joey MONEK from the seniors. Okay, during the week it was announced the NPL Team of the Week, and our very own Joey MONEK managed to get a Guernsey in the starting 11. So well done to Joey. Just last night after their training session at Churchill Reserve, I caught up with Joey, and this is what he had to say. Welcome to DinamoTV, Joey MONEK. What a way to start the season with 2 goals, mate. From a personal point of view, how did you see Sunday's game against Dandy Hayduk?
Obviously buzzing for the first game of the season, and we prepared the last 12 weeks for it. What a way to cap it off with 2 goals. It felt very rewarding with the effort put into pre-season, but overall it was a good effort by the lads. First game going away with a point and coming home with at least a point. Disappointed not to get 3, leading 3 times and letting it slip, but we move on and hopefully we can learn from those mistakes and not carry into next week. Yeah,
it's a good point you mentioned. Is it, in your opinion, is it 1 point gained or 2 points lost in hindsight?
More 2 loss, more than 1. Happy with 1, but more 2 loss because we felt like afterwards we deserved 3 points away there. Like I said, we learned from our mistakes and then go into next week hoping to get a win against Altona Magic.
Yeah. Now, you were saying off air how difficult the conditions were. In fact, it's probably one of the hardest games you've ever played. What made it such a difficult game to play?
When the ball was up in the air, like the wind was going sideways instead of up and down one way. So when the goalkeeper kicked the ball, within 5 seconds, it's gone 20 metres to the right, 20 metres to the left. So when it was in the air, you just had to be really on your toes, judging which way the ball was going to go. So it made it challenging, a bit scrappy. Like we wanted to play out a bit more than what we did, but in those type of conditions, I feel like we had a bit of control in the game, and then we're unfortunate to get a better result.
Yeah. Before we look ahead to this week's game, it's a whole new look squad. A lot of new players have come in. How have the new boys integrated with the existing players under Cam?
Settled in nicely. Cam's brought in boys he feels fit the way we wanted to play this season, and they've come in. There's been no problems. Everyone gets along, bonded really quickly, and you saw that through the weeks in pre-season leading up. The squad kept going stronger and stronger each week, and I think just everyone in total was buzzing. Coaching staff, everyone around the club for the first game of the season, and yeah, can't wait for next week.
Yeah, next week, speaking of next week, or this week, Altona Magic, they'll probably be unlucky as well that they didn't get the 3 points against Victory on Monday night. But they're always a tough team, obviously, at Paisley Park. But what are you expecting from this game on Saturday night?
Expecting a battle. I think they have a kind of new squad as well, so similar to us, go into the game not knowing really how they're going to play. So just have to turn up on the day and try to get the better of them.
Yeah. What about the league as a whole? Some big crowds, some big games in round 1. And there seems to be a real excitement about NPL Victoria 2025, especially with the inclusion of Preston Lions and Melbourne Victory. How are you, as like someone who's played in the NPL now for quite a few years? How are you looking forward to this season?
I'm looking forward to it. When you look at the squads of every team, it's very strong. Like, you're looking forward to playing every team. Like you said, Preston coming up, when we versed them in pre-season game, the crowd they had in pre-season was crazy. So looking forward to going and playing away there because it'll be an even bigger crowd. Just that atmosphere, a new feeling, never played there before. Victory coming up as well. It's good for them. And yeah, boys, big signings going to other clubs, and then yeah, it's just good to verse those top 6 from last year and see how we can match against them. So it's going to be a good challenge.
Yeah, and what's the aims for the season, both from a team point of view and also from you personally?
Finals would be nice. I've been up, stayed up, been relegated a few times. Making finals would be a big achievement for the club, and for me personally, making finals, having not experienced that, it would be a good feeling, and just keep working hard in the season for myself, and just keep improving. The coaches trust us to do what we can, and then hopefully we can deliver.
Yeah, the first few weeks is going to be difficult, obviously playing away from here, from Churchill Reserve, because the main pitch is still being renovated, so to speak. Is that going to be a tough thing, or is that going to be, greater scope of things towards the end of the season when you have a little bit more home games? Is it going to balance itself out? But how are you prepared for the first few rounds? And they're all going to be tough games, aren't they, against top 6 opposition?
Yeah, I think from last season's top 4, we got all of them in the first upcoming 4 weeks.
Gosh.
So it's going to be tough, but like I said before, every game, take it as it comes. It's a challenge for us. We're up for it. With the main pitch, everyone's buzzing for it to be finished, and when it does, we've got to make sure we own it. It's our terrace now, so we make it our ground. No one wants to come here and play, so it's like a new clean state, and then hopefully we can have a winning record on it when the time comes to play on it.
Well, Joey, congratulations on your 2 goals in round 1 against Haydock, and all the very, very best for Saturday night against Altona Magica. Paisley Park should be a ripper.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to DinamoTV. The 50th anniversary gala is going to be held this year. Save the date. It's Saturday, the 12th of July, 2025. That is the date when the big black tie gala event will be happening. But it's not just that's happening. There's a lot of things happening as well. And to find out what is happening with the gala celebrations this year, I caught up with STELA, SPOLJAR and SUZI ILIC, 2 dynamic event organisers from our social committee, and this is what they had to say. Welcome to DinamoTV, to the social dynamic duo here at Dinamo. First of all, ladies, how are you? STELA, SPOLJAR and SUZI ILIC. Stella, firstly to you, how are you?
I'm well, thanks, Taunchy. Really excited about Dinamo's 50th year this year.
And what about you, Susie? Susie, we seem to find you everywhere, whether it's behind the bar, in the kitchen, or involved in organising committees. How are you going?
I'm really well, thanks. Back into focusing on my work at the moment. Just with the tournament last year and whatever, it took a lot out of my full-time job time as well. So, but yeah, very excited about the 50-year anniversary and everything that has sort of started in organisation and planning and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, look, speaking of which, of the 50th anniversary gala, but as they say, you can't keep a good woman down. But after the incredible success of last year's Australian-Croatian soccer tournament, I guess it's no surprise the club came calling for you, Stella, for this year's 50th Gala Ball celebrations. But tell us, how'd you get roped into the gig?
Not so sure roped is a great word to use, but I was the director of the Adelaide Croatian soccer tournament, and after the successful tournament, I was approached by Dinamo to come and help them with their tournament last year. And as we all know, it was a huge success. And after the tournament finished, the Dinamo committee members approached me and asked me to stay on board to help with the 50th anniversary celebrations. And I immediately said yes, because I feel like the club and myself have the same goals. And the goals for me are to bring the Croatian community together, unify us, make us stronger, and have fun along the way. And that's what Dinamo is all about.
Yeah. And what about you, Susie? Same thinking applies here. The club needed the best. They got the best. How did you get involved?
Thanks, Tochi. Well, funny story. I wasn't approached or asked or anything. I just got told that I was on the committee. So kind of by default. So yeah, look, I've been involved in other big celebrations, obviously. So I think it was just a natural thing that I'd be part of it, which I'm absolutely stoked about, and I never would have said no. So yeah, so pretty much I was just told that I'm part of the committee.
No choice, you're given no choice.
No choice, no choice. But
Stella, at this stage, what are going to be some of the events that will form part of the 50th celebrations. Is it just the gala ball, or are there other things being planned?
No.
What can you let us know? What can you
We're
announce?
not going to tell you everything tonight.
No,
We're going to
that's
keep
fair
a
enough.
few events up our sleeves, but we are going to talk about the 50th Gala Ball, which is going to be held on July the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets will be available in the next few weeks. Venue's still to be decided, but we can let you know that we've locked in our MCs. So we've got Mariana Rudan and Ante Smolic as our two MCs for the evening, and our special guests for the evening will be the Dinamo Zagreb coaches from Zagreb.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Oh, that's right. It'll probably be the off-season in Croatia. So we might even get Fabian Cannavaro.
Oh, well,
I wonder if he's going to be speaking Croatian, Italian, or in English. We've got Tuna here at the club. He can now translate if he does it in Italian. Susie, how's the coordinative committee structured at the moment? Is there a kind of, everyone's got roles, or is it kind of just like at the moment a collective team effort? And who else is part of it?
Okay, so basically we've got various people part of it. So there's Dinamo people, we've got HZ people, Gorspic Bears, Wednesday nights, Vukovar. So everybody sort of, we've got representation from most of the Dinamo group and outside of the group as well. So basically we are just working as a collective. We are, we sort of brainstorm all of our ideas and, you know, we do around the table conversations. And then from there, we'll be allocating tasks to various people.
Yeah.
So at the moment, it's all sort of a group. You know, various people are going off and getting quotes and, you know, all the natural sort of things.
Typical Croatians, we hate authority, don't we? We hate that centralised authority.
Well, Stella's leading the group, whether she wants
we don't
to
like
say
to
it
pick
or
part
not.
of it, yeah. We just like, you know, like to have a bit of a say. And that's a good idea because everyone can feel like they're contributing something, and that's the whole purpose of it, isn't it? You've got members from all these different groups coming together, and that's the whole purpose of it.
Yes, and everyone has different skills, which, you know, came across obviously through the tournament as well, just with the organisation of that, and everyone, you know, banded together and, just came out to be a fantastic event. So that's what we want this year to be as well.
Awesome, yeah. You got enough people on the committee, or are you still looking for people? Or?
No, we do have enough.
Yep.
Do you agree? Yeah, we do have enough.
I guess it's one of those things, you don't want too much in the coordinative side, but when it comes to the actual event and having volunteers, you'll probably no doubt have that call for the blue crew to be coming back.
100%, our good old blue crew.
Now, Stella, question for you. How's sponsorship going at the moment, and how can anyone out there with a business get on board and support the 50th anniversary?
Sponsorship is going really well. We've locked in all our major sponsors, not only for the NPL season, but we also have locked in a few sponsors for our 50th Gala night, and a big shout out to IND Group, IBM Cranes, Bazoom, Future Tech, and Milicevic Lawyers, who have come on board, especially for the Gala night. But we're always asking and looking for new sponsors. So please feel free, if you see SUZI or myself at the club or any of the committee members, come up and say hello, introduce yourselves, and we're happy to have a chat.
And as was evidenced by the Australian-Croatian soccer tournament, gosh, speaking to a lot of the sponsors, they really felt like they were part of the event, and they really got their value for money, and it was just something that they felt privileged and honoured to be a part of, wasn't it, Stella?
They were, and on the back of that, what we've decided this year is to have a Dinamo in Business Day. So we're going to invite all our sponsors and also potential sponsors and have a bit of a networking day. So something that we haven't done at the club before, but something in our 50th anniversary we thought we'll go ahead and do.
Yeah, awesome. Now, Susie, we mentioned the volunteers, the Blue Crew, the famous Blue Crew squad from the tournament. More than 300 plus. What an amazing group of people that was, a collective group of people. Is there going to be an opportunity for them to get involved, and how can they get involved?
Okay, so once again, we were just blown away by the number of volunteers that we did have for the tournament, and once again, made up of all different clubs and areas in our community, you know, people that, it wasn't just Dinamo people that put their hand up, which was absolutely fantastic. Just watch out for on our socials, and we'll do a call out if we need sort of help with anything going forward. It's still early days in the planning, but we'll definitely reach out if we need help.
Yeah, well, there's heaps of time to go. I mean, before you know it, though, it will arrive, but there's plenty of time to go. And that's the great thing. It seems that you've really started the planning nice and early and not leaving anything for last minute.
Yes.
Any last words, ladies? Stella, firstly to you.
Yes, definitely. Just want to talk about some other events that we're having at the club. I did mention earlier that the Dinamo Zagreb coaches will be our special guests for the Gala night, but they will also be holding a camp here at Dinamo. The dates are July the 7th to the 11th. More details to follow, so please look out on our social media pages for pricing and also around the club. We're also doing a 50th anniversary book, which we hope to have at the Gala night. That's our vision. But the 50th anniversary book will consist of the history of Dinamo.
Wow,
so we're calling out again on our social media, but we're calling out to anyone who has any memorabilia or any news clippings or photos. Please bring them to the club or get in touch with someone from the committee so that we can have a chat to you and see how we can organise having them scanned and inserted into the 50th anniversary book. We're also having another ladies event. I'm sure the ladies out there are going to be excited after huge success at the tournament. And a few more other events, but we're going to keep those events quiet at the moment.
Oh, the book one sounds really exciting, and as we get closer to the event, there'll be no doubt lots more information regarding that. Susie, any last words from you?
Basically, just want to say, again, super excited. 50 years, the club is just in an amazing position. As you mentioned earlier, the infrastructure that's happening around the club, the leadership groups, just the families that we have here. It's just very proud to be part of the club and everything that the club is actually doing. So we're happy to celebrate and hopefully have another 50 years of Dinamo.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we're around for those next 50 years as well. That'd be great.
Yes. Won't be organising events, but...
On that note, thank you so much, ladies, and all the very best for the Gala 50th anniversary this year.
Thank you very much, Tonchi. Thank you.
And that brings us pretty much to the end of this week's DinamoTV. Before we do go, a little notice. If you know of any girls, footballers, female footballers in the under 15s and under 16s age division, Dinamo is seeking players for our junior girls under 15s born in 2010 and junior girls under 16s born in 2009 for season 2025. Any interested players are urged to fill out the jot form on the official St Albans Dinamo Facebook page. Don't forget about Saturday night down at Paisley Park. Yours truly will be behind the microphone commentating the game, so I look forward to that. And in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday night for another episode of DinamoTV. My name has been Tonchi Prusats. It's been a pleasure being with you tonight. Good night.